All right, guys, so this is June 5th that you're about to watch. Lots has changed since the May 29th one. We're at that period of the year where like it's been raining a lot, it's been hot, so things are just kind of like exploding out there. And then going forwards, we're going to be posting once a week garden tours. And I think if anyone's interested, you can check in during the week. I might be showing you sort of how I'm using the garden produce to make my lunches or dinners, and some of the fermented stuff like quick pepper ferments and some of the kombucha making or like kefir making. So I might start posting some of that stuff during the week too. All right, thanks so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. Alrighty. So let's start over here, you guys. This is actually bok choy, and I've picked some of it already. It's quite delicious. As you can see, it's starting to go to seed already, so it's time to get in there and eat that. In behind it, I have Swiss chard, and look at this. I've never had this before on my Swiss chard. I'm assuming it's some kind of wilt, bacterial something. Not all of them have it, but a lot of them do. So I'm not sure what it's from. I'm going to have to do a bit of research. It looks like a rust type of... Anyway, every year's a learning curve. Broad beans along the side. Sorry, my husband's cutting stuff. And the broad beans are actually... Oh, look at this. Gonna flower soon. So that is what the flowers look like. And then they'll pop open and you'll get like a little pea bean type thing on it. So those are the broad beans. Moving along, that's our compost bin. Got some nice bright red and green lettuces down here. Peppers. I can't tell you which ones are which right now. Well, sort of I can. This is going to be an orange bell pepper. I don't know what this one is. I don't know what this one is. And I don't know what this one is. But I will as soon as I start producing peppers. We've got our peas down here. I got a little chamomile plant and then a big chamomile plant. So that's going to start blooming soon. That'll be really great for tea. Check these out. These are pretty cool. These are Chinese noodle beans. So they're red noodle bean. So what's going to happen is they're going to grow all the way up. And you'll see, oh, hello, bird. They'll go all the way up to the roof. And they get these really long red beans on them. And by really long, I mean they're like a foot. And they're tasty. You don't boil them like a normal green bean. You just saute them. I did get a few last year, but I started them too late last year. So I think this year will be a good year for those Chinese noodle beans. Down in front, we've got some lettuce. This is the French tarragon. Tastes a bit like licorice. These ferny things are my asparagus. They're quite tall and out of control this year. You can't see it from this angle. Got to give you something to see it, a backdrop against. So, yeah, they're pretty tall. Moving along. Oh. Yeah, the chickadees, they're actually nesting. I'll show you. So we put up this little, literally from the dollar store, box. And some chickadees decided to move into it this year. But I don't know if you noticed our duct tape across the top. It's because it's not in the best condition. See how it's like falling apart? So the floor should stay on because there are like little L brackets, but the wall was quite literally coming apart at the top there. So we've duct taped it. It should only be another week or so, I bet you, because they've been feeding them for almost 2 weeks now. So I bet you they're gonna fly the nest soon. But yes, that is our sort of falling apart chickadee box. We've got some peppers down here. And I just threw in some lettuces underneath. And then the Luffa gourds are starting to produce new leaves. So that's good. This is the other Luffa gourd. Hello. And this one here is actually blooming right now. I did pop in some seeds, so that one has germinated and that one has germinated. This is the tromboncino zucchini, rampicito tromboncino, something like that. And I've got 2 of them, and same thing, they're gonna grow up the trellis all the way up. The chives have started to bloom. Oregano's coming in finally. Horseradish is looking pretty lush. These guys here are butternut squash, so I'm gonna only have to let one of them grow. The other 2 are gonna come out, but I'm leaving them because, as in this case, sometimes the squirrel makes a decision for you. So there were 3 in here, and now we're down to 1. So I'm gonna leave those for a little bit longer, and just in case, I don't want the squirrel ripping them out on me. Okay, these are tomatillos. And I'm already seeing some little pollinators buzzing around. So hopefully we will start getting little tomatillos on here soon. And then moving down the aisle, I've got some peppers. That one's a cayenne. We've got the milkweed, and that looks like it's gonna bloom soon. Is there something hiding in there? Oh, whoops, yep. There was a spider. Okay, see that? See, it's like little spider webby nest in there. Sorry, spider. Sage plant. My rosemary's starting to come back. It was looking a little dried out when I first planted it, but I think it's doing okay. These are just regular beans. As you can tell, this one's going to be a purple bean. And I don't know what that one's going to be. Maybe yellow, maybe green. A little bit of cilantro left. Lemon thyme. Beans. Something's eating this guy. This is a climbing bean as well. It's going to climb. Nothing in the bee hotel. But maybe this year. Last year there was a spider that took up residence in like the top corner. It was a big black spider, and then no bees decided to live in it. So who knows who's going to move in this year. What do we got over here? Borage, celery in the back, climbing beans, tomatoes that sowed themselves, more chamomile. This guy here is a spaghetti squash. This is borage, and it's going to open soon. You'll see there'll be nice blue flowers on it. And then over here we have another pepper plant. This stuff down here is called mizuna. So you can eat it as a green, like a salad green, or you can saute it, and it's quite good. Oh, and I just noticed, see this, guys? It's starting to go to seed. So we're gonna have to pull that out again soon too. I got new greens in here. The peas are blooming. So that's really good news. Hello. Hello. A random lettuce. And then along here, the carrots have started to come in. So we will probably have to do a little bit of thinning, but that's okay. Peas all along the wall here. So these ones, see, they're taller. Started those earlier in the season. And I put these in a couple weeks later, and then those ones even later. And I do that on purpose so that, you have peas in succession. Green onions. This, we're only going to keep one of these. But this is a yellow zucchini. So We only need one. It's going to take up a huge area. Down here we've got some flat leaf parsley and some dill. That's what the ferny stuff is. All along here is dill. And then we've got the raspberry. I did get in there and try to like brush it out a bit, get rid of some stuff, keep just like a few canes. So hopefully that was the right thing to do. Okay, beside that, we've got our cucumber plants. And again, I threw flat leaf parsley in here, some dill in here. These cucumbers are quite large. I think we can make the judgment call now. We'll keep that one, and this guy will go. It hurts to do this, but it's for the betterment of the plant that's still there. And that's a weed, so we'll get rid of that. So yeah, that's cucumber. Across the back is dill. So this is just going to be, oh, see this, guys? This is to hopefully keep the squirrel. I've planted mammoth sunflowers in there. So that's also my thought, was that I'd have some big tall sunflowers. The cucumbers will hang on to it. It'll be just a little bit of a wild bed of some like super tall sunflowers and cucumbers climbing. But the squirrels keep finding my mammoth sunflower seeds and eating them. So I'm hoping that's going to prevent the squirrel from digging them up and eating them. We'll see. Okay, so beside them in this bed are the potatoes. And if you look closely, we've got some potato flowers in there. So just the starts of them. They're not open yet, but that's kind of how they start. Here's another one. So that's pretty cool. Keep you up to date on that. So far, no sign of potato beetle. They will start out as like orange and black grubby things on your potatoes. You'll notice that your leaves are being eaten. You'll notice like a brown poop, I guess, behind. So start looking around your plants then on the undersides, and you'll see these orange and black grubby things, and that's the potato beetle. So you want to get on that right away. But so far, so good. Over here, we've got some beans. Again, they're under the net because our friend the squirrel has become a vegetarian or something this year. Like, has been eating beans and cabbages. So all these cabbages are, the bottoms of the pots are cut out. This is the third set of cabbages I've planted. The first ones were ones I grew from seed. He ate them. The second set was ones I bought. He ate them. This is the third set, which I also purchased. I had to purchase these cabbages because I'm behind now. And he got into one the first day they were planted. So that's when I was like, all right, enough. So all the rest of them now should produce cabbage heads. And what I'll do is leave this on. This collar will stay on until the plant is much bigger. And then I will just cut it. They're just cheap plastic pots, so I will sacrifice the pot to protect the cabbage. Got some more brassica greens in here. We've got some broccoli, just little tiny heads. But I will probably still eat the leaves too. Like, we processed the head off of this one, and you'll see sometimes you'll get like that. You'll get little tiny shoots on the side coming up. Tatsoi that's gone to seed. But sometimes it's great to have stuff like this in the garden to feed the bees and the pollinators. So I'm leaving them. And you can still eat the leaves, right? These leaves are delish. So along the back here is garlic. And they're getting pretty meaty. Like, look at some of the stalks on there. Those are good looking garlic. So what's going to happen with these is we will get garlic scapes, which are kind of like the seed thing. It's going to come up. I'll pull the garlic scapes off. We can cook those, eat them. You can blend them up and make pesto with them. And then shortly after that happens, the bottom leaves will start going brown. And once 2 or 3 of those bottom leaves have gone brown, we can pick them. Okay, this middle bed is all climbing beans. Or well, it was supposed to be. This whole middle row did not germinate, but I had been desperately trying back in the spring to grow something called a ground cherry. And I had germinated a few inside the house, and then when we had to put the cat down, I kind of forgot to water things for about 5 days, and all my ground cherries died. And then I couldn't find ground cherry seed anywhere. And I was just like, all right, well, I guess we'll just have to leave it and we'll try again next year. And then in one of my trays that was labeled ground cherry, I just left it outside here, some stuff started growing. So these are my little miracle ground cherries that I thought I was not going to get this year. I think that's flea beetle damage. Something has been nibbling on the leaves. But I've got 3 of them. And the ground cherry is kind of like the tomatillo. It produces like a little cherry type tomato in a husk, but they're yellow and they're supposed to be sweet. They're supposed to be almost like pineapple flavored. So never grown them before, but we're going to give it a try. These are more climbing beans. As you can see, they're a bit staggered, like some are just starting to come up and others are now like reaching for the trellis. And then down here, this is pretty exciting as well. These are melons. So similar idea to your cucumbers and your squash. You plant 3 seeds, and then I'm going to have to kill some of these. So I've got melon, and look, see, this is what happens sometimes. 3 seeds were planted here, only 1 germinated, and 3 seeds were planted at the end. And this guy germinated, but I don't know that it's going to produce anything. We're just going to wait and see. So yeah, if I can get that to go up the trellis, we will have some lovely melons. And in between down here, this is nasturtium, so that I will have melons growing up and nasturtium growing along the bottom. All right, let me just show you the onion bed. Okay, so this whole row is onion. We've got shallots, red onions, and normal Spanish onions. So I'll just kind of scoot you along the side. These guys are just sort of like normal onions. Normal, just like Spanish onion. And then you'll see down here where the stems go a little bit redder, those are going to be the red onions. And then down at the end here are shallots, which are kind of like I don't know, I think they're fancy. They're like a fancy onion. All right. We'll do a quick zip over the pepper shelf. We'll do a quick zip through on the other side of this garage is the driveway where the tomatoes and basil are. And then that'll be it for our garden tour. Okay, so Jimmy Nardello peppers. I believe this one is red. Oh, no, yellow Hungarian. So that's cool. Orange bell peppers. They will turn orange as they're ready. This is an orange bell pepper plant as well. There's just no peppers on it. This is a shishito. And look at the little tiny shishitos on there. And look at all the flowers. So we should get lots of fruit off of that. Here's another shishito. You guys know what that is, right? It's a jalapeno. And they're just little right now, so we'll let them grow. More jalapeno. These guys are cayenne, so these guys are spicy. And these are the nice ones. You can let them dry. String them up and let them dry. It makes a nice powder. Add it to soup, stews, all that kind of stuff. More jalapeno. More cayenne. More cayenne. Another yellow Hungarian. So these guys are kind of blocky. They won't get that big, and they're thick. Like it's not a thin skin on them. When I cut one open, I'll show you. And then more Jimmy Nardello. This is the tomato and basil along the side of the driveway. Last year we had tremendous results over here. So I think because the wall heats up and the pots heat up and the rocks heat up and the driveway heats up, like everything's just a little hotbed over here. So I'll just walk over here and show you. We've got basil, tomato plants. Some of these tomato plants are actually flowering. So that's kind of cool. That one hasn't opened yet, but and we've got purple basil in here. Purple basil's nice too. I found last year the purple basil actually lasted longer than the green basil. So like lasted longer in the sense that it didn't go to seed as quickly. There we go. Got a little tomato flower on that one. And there's a bunch of tomato flowers on this one. This is a Cherokee purple. That's the one that did the best for me last year. I got the most fruit off of it, and they were big, blocky, meaty fruits. So we'll see how it does this year. I've got 2 eggplants in here. 1, 2. And yeah, all the rest are tomatoes. This is my herb post. So I've got a, what's this one? Spicy oregano, I think it says. Yeah, hot and spicy oregano. I purchased this one. I've got a rosemary, which I also purchased. Marjoram. I've got some nasturtiums in here. And I don't have anything in the top one. I did have some lettuce, but I took it out of there. Or not lettuce, sorry, celery. But it wasn't doing well in there, so I just took it out. So yeah, that concludes kind of the garden tour, guys. Okay, well, that's kind of everything, guys. So it's growing. It is June 5th, and I just want to say thank you for stopping by. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting us, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.